Good evening and welcome to the business meeting of the Florence City Council. Please stand. We pray for the wisdom to make decisions that are beneficial to the people represented here. Empower us to speak honestly, reflect wisely, and vote with integrity. We seek your guidance tonight. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Ms. Wingo?
Present.
Ms. Chambers?
Here.
Mr. Wynn?
Here.
Ms. Whalen?
Here.
Mr. Schneider?
Here.
Ms. Cable?
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
First on our agenda is approval of minutes of the business meeting of February 10th, 2026. Is there a motion to approve? Ms. Whalen? Second by Mr. Wynn. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have a special presentation. I'd like to call on Chief Jeff Mallory.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Thank you all for coming. Tonight, it's my privilege to stand before you and recognize an extraordinary individual whose selfless commitment has strengthened our community and supported our police department for more than 2 decades. Robert Nelson has given 23 years, nearly a quarter of a century, of dedicated volunteer service to the Volunteers and Police Service Program, which we call the VIPS. Through VIPS, community members like Robert can step forward, partner with law enforcement. They contribute to their time, skills, and energy to enhance public safety, free up officers for critical duties, and build strong bridges between the police and the people we serve. For 23 years, Robert has embodied the very best of what it means to be a volunteer. Whether supporting community events, providing behind-the-scenes help, or simply being a reliable presence that allows our officers to focus on protecting and serving. Robert has done it all with humility, reliability, and unwavering enthusiasm. His long-term commitment is rare and remarkable. Most volunteers give a few years, but Robert has given a lifetime's worth of service. In an era when so many demands compete for our time, Robert chose to give his time freely and consistently to make our city safer and more connected. He has been quite force for good, a role model for civic engagement, a testament to the power of partnership between citizens and law enforcement, and a living example of how one person's dedication can ripple through and benefit thousands. On behalf of the entire City Council, the Florence Police Department, and our grateful community, I want to say thank you to Robert. Thank you for 23 years of service. Thank you for your generosity of spirit. Thank you for showing us what true citizenship looks like. So please, Robert Nelson, would you please come up? Presenting the plaque is Sergeant Riley. She oversees our community resource unit, which the VIPs help out with all of our city events and stuff like that.
Thank you very much.
Would you like to say something?
Thank you. No.
Thank you for
no speaker.
You could step back here and we'll get a picture.
Oh, okay.
We have quite a few VIPs here. If they
Absolutely.
could come forward and we could get a group photo with them as well.
Whoever's currently a VIP, if they want to step forward.
Robert's a heck of a volunteer, and he also makes great brownies, too, so. We have for your consideration the second reading of ordinance 02-2026. It's an ordinance adopting and approving a change of concept development plan in a commercial 2 plan development, Houston-Donaldson Overlay District for an approximate 1.55 acre site located along the northwest side of Houston Road between 5001 Houston Road and 4953 Houston Road, and being part of the properties at 4999 Houston Road and 4951 to 4997 Houston Road, Florence, Kentucky, to allow an eating and drinking establishment with a drive-through. This is a Jaggers project. The effect of this ordinance is to allow a change of concept development plan in a commercial 2 development, Houston-Donaldson Overlay C2 PD HDO District for an approximate 1.55 acre site located along the northwest side of Houston Road between 5001 Houston Road and 4953 Houston Road, and being part of the properties at 4999 Houston Road and 4951 to 4997 Houston Road, Florence, Kentucky, to allow an eating and drinking establishment with the drive-through. The full text of ordinance 02-2026, including its exhibits, is available for examination in the office of the city clerk of the city of Florence, Kentucky, 8100 Ewing Boulevard, Florence, Kentucky, during regular office hours. Is there a motion to approve? Ms. Whalen?
Second.
Second by Mr. Nguyen. Any discussion? This was discussed at the previous meeting. Planning and zoning did review this and did have additional conditions. Ms. Wingo, do you have anything to add?
No, I'll just remind everyone that the packet of information that we received from the Boone County Planning Commission is the record that we have to consider whenever we review these projects. We aren't allowed to take any additional testimony from anyone that hasn't spoken at the public hearing that's held by the Boone County Planning Commission. We did review this in late January. We did not feel there was a need for an additional public hearing, and we did have some additional conditions that the developer has agreed to, and we make a recommendation for it to be approved with those conditions.
Mr. Nguyen, do you have anything to add? All right, any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Wingo?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Ms. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Ms. Cable?
Yes.
Mayor, motion passes 6-0.
Next for your consideration is ordinance 03-2026. This is an ordinance relating to the adoption of zoning text amendments to the Boone County zoning regulations applicable to the Boone County Fiscal Court and legislative bodies for the City of Florence, Walton, and the City of Union. As members of the Boone County, Kentucky Planning Unit, and recommending that the zoning text amendments be considered for enactment to regulate and define commercial parking, freight container, freight terminal, semi-trailer, truck, and truck tractor, and identifying zoning districts where such uses are allowed as authorized uses within the Boone County Planning Unit for Boone County, Kentucky. These text amendments to the Boone County zoning regulations being to Article 40, Section 4000, Article 5, Section 505.2, Article 5, Section 505.3, Article 5, Section 505.4, Article 5, Section 505.5, Article 10, Section 1003.6, Article 11, Section 1102.6, and Article 11, Section 1103.6, and Article 13, Section 1303.7. Subject to the recommended terms and provisions set forth in these recommended zoning text amendments set forth in the Technical Design Review Committee report, and providing this resolution as a recommendation to be forwarded to the Boone County Fiscal Court and cities comprising the Boone County Planning Unit for the consideration by their legislative bodies. The purpose of this ordinance is to approve text amendments to the Boone County zoning regulations. These text amendments being enacted to regulate and define commercial parking, freight container, freight terminal, semi-trailer, trailer, truck, and truck tractor, and identifying zoning districts where such uses are allowed as authorized uses. The full text of ordinance 03-2026, including its exhibits, is available for examination in the office of the city clerk, City of Florence, Kentucky, 8100 Ewing Boulevard, during regular office hours. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Ms. Wingo?
Second.
Second by Mr. Schneider. Ms. Wingo, do you have any further discussion? We did talk about this at the previous meeting.
We did, and the same information as for the last issue we just discussed. We reviewed it based on what was presented to us by the Planning Commission. We did have several recommendations for changes to this document that were relevant to the city of Florence. Some of it was things like not having these freight terminals in a C2 zone, or C3 zone, which would be every car dealership in the city, every storage facility in the city. So we didn't feel that those locations would be appropriate for a freight terminal. So we did make some changes on that and put some conditions on the actual physical siting of the facilities.
Mr. Nguyen?
No, ma'am.
Okay, any other further discussion? Ms. Chambers?
I was just hoping that we could break this down a little bit for the people at home and for the residents. So Mr. Hunt, or Todd, either way, would you guys be able to explain what brought this up, that it was looked at, and then what problem it's solving?
Yeah, this fiscal court asked the planning commission to look into this subject because there's truck parking problems throughout the county. So certainly, with this text changed, it basically regulates where motor freight terminals would be allowed. Again, we decided they are not appropriate in C3. They are appropriate in I-1 and I-2, and they should be a conditional use permit in airport zoning districts with use standards.
And is our ordinance more restrictive than that of the county?
I would say it added more standards. We required berming along street frontage buffers. We're not allowing it in C3, and the county is considering that. The county has not taken final action yet, so I don't know if it's going to be more restrictive in the end or not. They might take a look at what we did and decide to go along with it.
Yeah, Todd, two of the things we restricted was buffer from 50-foot, which the county wanted, to 100, and they wanted stacking of 4 containers high, and we restricted it to 2.
Yeah, and again, they have not taken final action, so once again, this is just recommended language from the Planning Commission to all legislative bodies, and each legislative body can tailor it however they see fit.
And Ms. Wingo, the intent is to make sure that there's sufficient screening with regard to residential properties, that you can't just drive by and see a bunch of freight containers stacked up.
Right, and it's not permitted to be adjacent to residential property. So it's pretty much excluded from those areas that would be adjacent to any residential property. And a lot of those for that reason. Additionally, it's the roadways that would service these freight terminals are identified as specific types of roads. It can't be in a neighborhood. They can't be driving the trucks through the neighborhood to get to the facility. It has to be, Todd, what's the specific wording? Do you
It's-
remember?
yeah.
Arterial,
Arterials, collectors, so if you go to the use standards for I-1 and I-2, access shall only be to a subcollector, collector, or arterial street. So as you're saying, it would not be allowed in a residential area, local street. They all need to be road ready. There's the berming requirements. Again, we're considering a prohibition about anything being stacked more than 2 containers high, 100-foot setback from any street. And again, the reason being for that we added, I'm going to go down to my first picture. Of course, this is the motor freight terminal in Richwood. And you can see we felt like there was a need for more landscaping along the road, and that berming and screening that we've added on, in my mind, will accomplish that. It'll be much more appropriate aesthetic as you're driving down the road. So right now, the Planning Commission language did not have that, and we added that as a use standard.
Is there any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Wingo?
yes.
Ms. Chambers?
No.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Ms. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Ms. Cable?
No.
Mayor, motion passes 4-2.
We have for your consideration ordinance 04-2026. It's an ordinance amending ordinance number 0307 as amended by ordinance 0418 to establish insurance company license fee rates at 4% of the first-year premiums for life insurance and 4% of the premiums for all other types of insurance actually collected within each calendar quarter, and to clarify the timing and process for future rate review consistent with KRS 91A.080 and the requirements of the Kentucky Commissioner of Insurance. The purpose of this ordinance is to amend insurance company license fee rates to 4% of the first-year premiums for life insurance and 4% of the premiums for all other types of insurance actually collected within each calendar quarter, and to provide for future rate review consistent with KRS 91A.080. The full text of ordinance 04-2026, including its examinations, is available for examination in the office of the city clerk, City of Florence, Kentucky, 8100 Ewing Boulevard during regular office hours. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Ms. Wingo?
Second.
Second by Ms. Chambers. Is there any discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Whalen?
A couple things I think we need to point out. Our insurance premium tax rate has been set at 5% for a number of years. This will reduce that percentage to 4%, which will amount to about $1 million of revenue that the city will not receive in insurance premium taxes. It also should be noted that we budgeted $4 million as a line item for the collection of our insurance premium taxes, and we're on track, correct, Todd, to collect Todd's not, you moved. We traded seats here. Sorry, Jason, I look at the wrong place. We're on track to collect $5 million of the $4 million that were budgeted. So there is not going to be any direct impact on the budget revenues versus the expenditures that are there. I think it's important that we took a look at this. We have seen an increase in our insurance premiums across the board. We in Kentucky are paying for every natural disaster, flood, tornado across the country. All of those rates are going up. The assessments on our property went up, which also affects our insurance premiums. So we wanted to take a look and review this. The other important piece of this to me is that we will be looking at this annually at our budget retreat now, rather than just letting it ride as we've done in the past. My question for the ordinance, however, is the use of the word may instead of the word shall. City Council may, at its discretion, evaluate the license fee rates imposed in the ordinance in connection with the annual budget process. I'd like to see that say shall review or evaluate the license fee so that it does not get lost. May is a big word in government legislation. Gives us the ability to do it or not do it, and shall is much more specific about you will follow this and you will review this annually.
I changed it 4 times.
Well,
It went back and forth. I knew it would come up. It's a small change. We can change it to shall.
it's a small change with a big
Yeah.
meaning.
Well, but I think, just to make sure I understand, if it says shall, we're just reviewing it, we're not adjusting it.
Correct. Because
So
chances are
that was why I think you didn't put the
Well,
shall.
it says shall evaluate the license
Okay.
fee rates imposed. It doesn't say we're
You're-
going to amend it every year, but it gives
Yeah.
the directive to include that as part of the budget discussion every year so that we can evaluate it fully and not perhaps miss it one time. So I would like to see that word changed from may to shall.
that's easy enough. And we can do a real-time amendment on that, so.
Yeah. Does council concur with that?
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion? Ms. Chambers?
Just want to thank Vice Mayor Whalen for pushing this and getting us here on this issue.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Wingo?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Wynn?
Yes.
Ms. Whalen?
Yes?
Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Ms. Cable?
Yes.
Mayor, motion passes 6-0.
Just for the mayor's report, the Florence Community Guide should be in your mailboxes if you live in the city of Florence. So the guide is available for online viewing on our website as well and through a link on our Facebook page. Hopefully you enjoy that. Try to put together a comprehensive guide so that you know what's happening, what events, and then also let you see, to be transparent with a lot of information impacting the city's departments on their yearly operations. If you have not done so already, you can register for our Books and Bottles evening program. That's this Friday, February 27th from 6 to 8:30. The event is going to feature some keynote speakers with authors Wes Brown, who is author of They All Fall the Same, and Michelle Bennington, author of the Dumpster Dying series. Guests can enjoy light appetizers and a cash bar. Tickets are $10 and can be purchased through our link on Eventbrite, which is linked on the city's website. Also, as part of the Book and Literacy Festival, we will feature a Saturday morning children's program that's always a hit. It's February 28th from 10 a.m. to noon at the Florence Nature Park Event Center. It will feature an author story time with 2 children's authors and an entertaining puppet show by River City Puppets. We will be hosting a citywide St. Patrick's Day scavenger hunt from March 6th through the 17th. There will be 9 giant Irish symbols hidden throughout the city, and we encourage participants to capture their journey by taking photos at each stop and emailing the photos to scavenger.hunt@florence-ky.gov. And the first clue was released on our Facebook page this week, so check that out. Florence Police Department will hold their Police Citizens Academy beginning March 25th through May 13th. This 8-week class will be held on Wednesdays from 6:30 to 9. And the application is available on the Florence website. Please contact the Florence Police Department at 859-647-5420 for more information. Anyone on council desire recognition? Ms. Wingo?
Just a couple things. One, Melissa, thanks for a great job on the community guide. It looks terrific. You did a wonderful job. Thank you again.
Hats off.
Again. The other thing I want to, and we seem to do this frequently as another shout out to public services. The bitter cold weather is not fun for anybody to be out in, just getting to your car. And we already applauded them for all their wonderful work that they did to get all the snow out of the way. But I think one thing we tend to forget about is water main breaks and sewer line breaks. And in January, we had 6 water main breaks, and that means these folks are outside in that weather for hours and hours and hours, digging in the ground, digging in the road, repairing the water lines, trying to get your water back onto you. They do a heck of a good job, and I just want to say how much we really appreciate them going out and doing that, because I sure wouldn't want to do it.
Anyone else on council? Ms. Chambers?
If you guys remember, several city council meetings ago, Arrington Davis was here, and he was talking about his restaurant being displaced. And I just wanted to notify everyone in the city that Lita's Tacos is open back up on Houston Road, and thank Josh and Jeremy and the mayor for working hard with them to make sure they found a new home.
Thanks. Anyone else on council? I did forget in my mayor's report to mention the KYTC District 6 road project for Dixie Highway. That there was quite a bit of information put out about that. They were trying to take Dixie Highway from 2 lanes going north and 2 lanes going south, from Turfway Road intersection all the way down to Commonwealth in Erlanger, so it would impact us in Florence, just a short stretch. All of Ellesmere's frontage on Dixie Highway would be affected, and then kind of a short stretch on Erlanger as well that would be affected. We did work with the mayors of Erlanger and Ellesmere and Kentucky Transportation 6, as well as Representative Doan, to create awareness for why this project means a lot to the people who live in that area, means a lot to each one of our cities, and that we should not necessarily proceed with something that hasn't been truly vetted and has not allowed the citizens to weigh in. The reason why that situation took place the way it did is that It was a maintenance project for Dixie Highway. They are going to resurface that road, and while they were going to resurface the road, they decided, well, let's think about what is impacting the safety in that area. Over 600 accidents in the last 5 years. And how can we address the safety? When you hear what their intent is, that their intent is about safety, when people say, well, that won't make the road better, that's the point. They don't want to make it better, they want to make it safer. So it is a different perspective, but still, it was not one that they did a very good job of explaining to people what they were trying to do. And so they have agreed to pause that project. There was a call for a lot of people to abandon that. I don't know that they will abandon it altogether, but for now, with regard to the bridge traffic that will be upcoming across the Ohio River and the potential that that might impact traffic and diverting that traffic onto 25 to Dixie Highway, this may not be the right time. And so they've said, okay, we will pause that, and we will try to get information out to you when we know anything. Josh worked with our city engineer, Vioxx and Vioxx, and asked some really hard questions of them about that project, and we're kind of waiting for the answers, and we'll be continuing to have dialogue with KYTC. But I just wanted to update the public on that. Is there any department heads that desire recognition? Anyone in the audience? Anyone in the audience desire recognition? Okay.
So I got a little emotional during this meeting about reducing the tax rate. I've never heard anything like that before.
Well, it's the third tax rate we've done,
That's amazing.
so yeah.
And I'm really proud of that. And we're going to go through the good news first. Josh did a great job eliminating the deer population in my backyard. And this is
Well, that might have been with the help of Eric's department.
well, this is where common sense set in and won, which is really impressive. So during the snow, there was no deer tracks, so it worked. And then Leslie's talked about my black grandson and my Hispanic granddaughter-in-law opening up their new restaurant. And I've been there for a couple of times. I was there today. And it's almost too much of a success. There's no place to sit. They just come in and come in and come in. So he's really appreciative of that. I don't hope it stays that way. That's the good news. Now, we had a meeting about the homeless people over at the main branch of the library. And Katie James was there. Diane was there, and David Rose was there, and I was there. Now, there's about 130 people came in there. They were all Caucasian. They were all about 65 years old. And I never did figure out, what did we accomplish at that meeting? Was there did we do anything?
Information sharing.
That was
There was
about
no,
it.
yeah, there was no
There was no-
decision-making, it was all information sharing.
So when it was over, the lady came up that shared the thing and said, "Are you Katie Joe's father?" And I'm going, what the hell is that got to do with it? But we'll pass through that. The library is my thing right now. The deer, they're off the table. The Mexican restaurant's off the table, you're off the hook. The library, though, you need to read the December minutes of the Boone County Public Library. It's on the dark web, World Wide Web, Circle, whatever else is on. It's pretty devastating because it's spending for them. They have spent more money than the people, their peers. They just spend like they're nuts. And as a result of that, I feel like that when they start to think about redoing the Florence branch, nothing's going to happen. So we're going to have to be on top of that, and it's just going to be ugly. Now, I know that they take in $10 million a year and blow right through it. But they do have some really worthwhile programs, and I was involved in one last Thursday night. I don't know if you all were aware of this or not, but they had a class on love potion. And I thought, why should I not be involved in this? I could stand a little more, you know. But it hasn't done much for me yet, so I'm going to keep trying. Hey, thanks. You guys are doing great.
Mr. Berkshire, you've been missed. We have missed having you at our meetings, so I'm glad to see you're here and that you're good.
There's a rumor around that I'm running for city council. Now, I don't know whether I'm running for it or away from it, but my name's on the list. And I was with one of the potential people today, and he said, whoa.
Thank you, Mr. Berkshire. I do want to update that I agree that we do need to continue to put pressure on the library. We do need a first-class library in the city. And speaking with the library director recently, she did say that there would be they have engaged I don't know if you would say consultant is the word, to start getting engagement in the Florence area with regard to what does a library in Florence look like and what do we need. So I think that was a first step. I don't know where they're at in their process, but we'll continue to monitor that. So, anyone else in the audience desire recognition? If not, we have a need for a closed session according to KRS 61.8101C litigation, proposed or pending against or on behalf of the city and pursuant to KRS 61.8101G, discussions between the city and representatives of a business entity where open discussions would jeopardize the siting, retention, expansion, or upgrading of the business. Is there a motion to approve? Mr. Nguyen.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wingo. Any discussion? Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have a discussion on a motion to go to closed session. Sorry about that. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Following the closed session, we will return to this room to adjourn. We do not anticipate any business taking place following closed session.